I'm here today to demonstrate how to make a cord rosary. My name is DeGa. I come from Toronto, Ontario. Maybe you saw me at Father Gruner's conference in Niagara Falls. I was helping people to make rosaries there. Now we're on camera here, so I'm going to try to demonstrate the rosary making on the camera. Now the materials that we need for the rosary are some cord material, the twine there, and nail polish, which goes towards the end of the cord for about maybe an inch or so at one end, so to help it from unraveling. You need the beads, a packet of beads. You need the tool to make the rosary, and then you have a centerpiece and a cross, and that's a complete. And the completed rosary then looks something like that. Okay, so now I'll demonstrate the making of the knot first, the barrel knot. That's the most important thing, is how to make the barrel knot. Now here's the tool that I have. Notice it's two-sided. On one side it's got a hump, and the other side it's got a hollow. Through the hollow, this is where you put the twine through the hollow, and that makes the knot. Okay, so now the way to hold it, I hold it with the hollow part underneath. I put my fingers underneath the hollow, 3 fingers, and the 4th there next to it, and the thumb holds it on the top. Then we take the thread, the twine, and we wrap around. From the bottom, you bring it up to the top, and you wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we take the other end and we put it through the hollow, and it goes, put it out at the other end. Now the next step is to slip the knot, the barrel. You see, it looks like a barrel. You slip this off the end, and then you tighten the barrel. Make sure the knots are all evenly spaced, and when you think they're even, then you just pull at both ends and you've got a knot. So it looks like a barrel. Okay, so that's one. Let's try another one, because sometimes you need to make the knot towards the rosary bead itself so it doesn't move, and sometimes you have to move it away with a little space between. So we try another one again. So you hold the tool in your hand, your left hand, put the thread on the top, and then you wrap from the bottom, the other side, around it. 2, 3, 4, 5. You slip it off, and then you tighten it. There you have a knot. Now I'll put a bead through to show you how it goes. So if you're making the glory bead, then now next knot we made, we're going to put it right towards the bead. So when you make the knot, when you slip it off the end of the tool, you'll try and move the knot. See, it moves. If you hold it together, you just move it towards the knot, towards the bead, and then you tighten it, and so then you have a glory bead, say. And I'll show you as I make the rosary. When I make the decades, there's a little space between the 2 glory beads, so that you can move the rosary beads as you're saying the rosary. It's better to have a little space. When you make the glory bead, I put my knots right towards the bead in the center. Okay, so now we're ready to start one. Okay, first, now I have to show you how to start the top of the rosary. You start at this end where we have the center. From the center, we start with the first hole at the top, which is the top part where you have the 2 holes, and then we go around and you complete it on the second hole. And then we cut it there. The first time you cut the thread will be at the second hole. And then we make the remaining part of the rosary from that end piece. So we start at the first hole at the top. We put it in through. Now this is the end. The end, there's 2 ends to it. One end has got the nail polish that's dried, and this is the plain end. So we keep the nail polish end is the one to go through the tool. So we start off the one without the nail polish is the one you use for the first hole. And then now to make the knot at this first end, we have to double it. We have a double thread here, double cord, stick it out maybe about an inch or so. So enable you to make four turns around to get the barrel at the top. So again, holding the two threads together, the cord together, you start again from the bottom, move away to the top, and you go around 4 times. Now this is with double, both cords together. Then you move the end through. Okay, now you slip it off. Make sure you hold the knot together, and then you just move the knot, not right towards the end of the hole, just to cover the end of that little piece that you have the two of them together. So now that is quite secure. From there we build on, and we start off with the first decade. So we take 10 of you got to put in your 10 beads, and we just slip them on, just like making a chain or something. If you just slip the beads on, and then 5, and another 5, okay, now that's 10, you've got your 10. Now we do another knot here, the same process. Put your cord on the top, and we wind around 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. You take the end which has got the polish on it, that's so that it doesn't unravel, and you pull it through. And then again we move the knot. Now this time, you see I didn't move it right towards the bead, because I leave a little leeway so you can move the beads around. So the knot is just a little bit before the end of that last bead. Just leave a little bit of space there. Okay, now the next one, the glory bee, that bead we will go right towards the end of the glory bee, so that one doesn't move. So when you're saying it, you know that you've come to the glory bee. So we'll do the same thing, and we'll put it through, slip it off, and move it. And when it reaches the bead, the end of the bead, and then we tighten it by pulling the end of the cord. So there we have the first decade. Okay. And then the same way we do the other decades. And you don't have to worry if you make a mistake. Suppose you put on 9 beads and you notice that, oh, I've only got 9 beads, and you finish the decade. All you do is undo the knot. It's very easy. You just undo it one string at a time, and then you can start on, just put in your extra bead, and off we go. There's no need to panic if you've done something wrong. There's always, you can fix it. Now this one again, we leave a little space. Pull the knot together and have a little space between the last bead and the knot. Now this will be second glory bee. Second decade. And I find that I just love to do these. I just find them so relaxing. After a hard day's work, I just look forward to making these rosaries at the night time. I like to sit down and just make a rosary. It just relaxes me. I don't know. I feel lost when I can't make one. I just like to make them. So there comes the third decade to put the 10 beads. Now remember, we need a little space between this knot and the last bead there. And I've made so many rosaries that I just pick out 5 beads at a time. I can just put my hand in and get 5 beads. I don't do it one at a time. I can just pick out 5 at one swoop. Okay, so now we're on to the 4th decade. Now, when we come to the 5th decade, then the fun begins, because now we have all the end things to do, which are a little bit tricky, but it all comes with practice. The main thing is to make sure you have that knot straight. Keep practicing that knot to make sure you get all the cord, all those rings nicely together, and then you pull them together so that it comes even. If they're not all together, you won't get an even knot, an even barrel knot. So then we do the end of the 4th decade. Okay, now we put on the last 10 for the 5th decade, the last 10 beads. Now after you put these 10 beads, you don't make a knot now, because now this end will go into the second hole that you had at the top there. Remember, I told you there were 2 holes there. So now this end, we don't make a knot now. We take the end here and we put this end into this second hole at the top. So you push it through. Okay. Now you hold up your rosary like this, and you know you've done no mistake. You've made no mistake if you notice that everything lines up. If you notice all the glory beads are lined up and everything looks perfect, so you haven't skipped a bead or you haven't put an extra bead on. Now we take the end. Okay, now make sure these 2 are lined up. You take a bit of that, and you don't need too much here, because you're going to make your knot right in parallel to the knot that you had in the first place. So you don't need too much cord here. You just need just a little bit so that you can make that. So it's a little bit tricky, so that you make your knot. Now again, you hold it the same way, and now you have again the double cord here. So you have the double cord. Bring your tool right up to the last bead there. Okay, and then you take from the front of the cord, you slip it down and bring it from the back to the front, and you keep rolling. Now do it 4 times, because that's what we started. If you remember, we did 4 knots, 4 rolls at the beginning. So we do 4 here to match that one, and then we take the end of the cord and you put it to the bottom as usual and pull it out. Okay, and then you slip. You hold. Meanwhile, you've got to hold. Remember the centerpiece with the tool, and you have your cord at the same time, all 3 going on together, and then you slip it through. You get rid of the tool, and now the knot, you make sure it's all even, and when it's kind of even, you pull on both ends to make sure it's nice and tight. See, you make sure that that's nice and tight there. And if you want, you can go to the other side also and also pull. So make sure, because this, now if you have a problem, sometimes the string might unravel or you might have cut it too close. Then in that case, you can always fix that also. Either this way you can burn it, I've never tried burning it, or I use my nail polish. You just fix it with a little, then you cut the end off a bit here. Okay, use your scissors, and make a sharp scissors so you get a nice cut, and then there we have that part of the rosary. So that's done. Okay. Now you take the remaining part that you have cut off, and that's going to complete the rosary to get the end part from the center to the cross. So you take the end that's not the nail polished one, that you leave again, that's got to go to make your knots. So you take the one that you cut off, which has got no nail polish, and you put it on the third hole, which is at the bottom. So you straddle it through there, and then now again we'll make 4. Okay, you can make 4 times. Again, now you got to hold your centerpiece with your tool, with your thumb and your second finger and your index finger, and then you make your knot starting from the end, and you're moving it towards the bead, towards the rosary part. You do it 4 times, and then you go through and you slip it off, and you keep a little space again here, so you have a space each time between this hole and the rosary. You have a space between the knots. So now you've got that done, that part, and now you just got to complete it with the beads. So first we have the Glory Be bead. This time now you only have a single, you're back to the single cord, and we just do, let's make 5 knots, 5 rounds. You put it through, slip it off. You can leave a little space between the knot and the bead you want. Okay, then you put the 3 Hail Marys, 3 beads. Now, since I've got a little extra, I might make it, do it 6 times. 2, 4, 5. Okay, 5 is okay, 5 is fine. Okay, slip it off. Leave a little space there. Then we have the last bead. Okay, now comes the most difficult part. Now we have to use the cross. Now to put the cross, it's the same procedure. You put the end of, now this has got the nail polish end through the hole there, and we keep a little space here, because for the cross, notice there's a little hang at the end there, so you have to have a little bit extra of cord at the end. So we don't do it quite so close, but now you've got to have the double cord, and you got your cross there. Now you hold it, you hold your tool, and you hold your cross there at the end, and you've got to have your cord, the double cord. So now we're going to wrap around, holding everything, and 3, 4, 5. 5 might be a little bit short. I'll do it with 4. Okay, and then you put it through, and you drop the tool. Now to roll, see right this end, you can move the roll, you can move it as far as you want so that you get a little extra hang there. You move the knot. Don't start pulling on the right hand side till you reach the spot where you want the knot, and then when it comes towards there, you just tighten it. Well, you can pull now both, and try not to pull on the end of the cross. Try to pull just the cord itself. You pull the end here, and you pull that side, and then you just snip off the end, and you have the completed rosary. Thank you for joining me for making the making of the cord rosary. My name is DeGa, and I hope we can make as many rosaries as possible. The more we make, the better for us. Thank you once again, and God bless.
I have come to warn the faithful to amend their lives and ask pardon for their sins. They must not continue to offend our Lord, who is already deeply offended. In the final vision on October 13, 1917, Our Lady silently held out the scapular, a gesture which indicates that she wants everyone to wear it. Our Lady said, "If my requests are not heeded, Russia will spread her errors throughout the world, raising up wars and persecutions against the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer, and various nations will be annihilated.